What is up, folks, and welcome to the ATCW recap. I am your host, the golden tongue of ATCW, Evan Wade, and here to my right, as always, the Swiss Army knife, Dennis Williams. What's going on, Dennis?
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, guys. Welcome to ATCW recap. This is the last recap of the year.
Oh, wow. That hurt. That hurt my feelings a little bit.
Hey, that's okay, because we're coming back next year.
That's right. We are bigger and better than ever. Guarantee it. Dennis, before we get talking about what we're here to talk about, which is
ATCW November Rain.
That's right. Came to you live from Carneysville on November 18th a couple weeks ago. What a freaking night it was, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, you talk about perfect way to end the year. This was it.
I can't agree more. Dennis, before we jump into that, I got to ask, how is your holiday season going, my friend?
I mean, it's going pretty good. I mean, you know, it's nice to see the decorations are up, the lights are up, you know, and the carols and the songs and all that. You know, it just really makes you sick to your stomach. It really does. I'm just kidding. No, I'm having a good holiday season so far. I've got to spend some time with some family that I normally don't. So, and more to come. How's yours going?
So far, pretty awesome. I have got all my Christmas shopping done, and ironically, things are actually wrapped and underneath the tree. I like teasing my wife a little bit about all the stuff that I got her and not revealing anything. I'm a little mischievous in that regard.
My wife knows what she's getting this year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she gave me a list, and she just knows she's getting it. I mean, we've been together for almost 14 years now, so yeah, she knows exactly what she's getting.
Gotcha. Well, at least I have something to look forward to in the future of my relationship. Paving the way for me, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of festivities, I thought I'd throw on my red polo for the day. In truth, I couldn't find my gray one.
I've got my Grinch colors on.
That's right. So we are rocking some festivity here in the ATCW studio. But Dennis, I think without further ado, it is time to jump into the November Rain card. And what a way to kick off the night with a little bit of Cruiserweight Championship action. One half of the Radical Stars, Willie Radical, stepping up to fight for ATCW against TCW's Hunter Cole. Dennis, what do you think about this matchup in post?
This was a very nice and well-executed wrestling match. It was a little slower pace than what I was expecting because you got two of the smaller guys in there that can both work very fast. Mm-hmm. But it was a little slower. It was a little more methodical. Now, one thing I didn't enjoy was Hunter Cole throwing his feet up on the ropes every single time he went for a cover, which happened, 40 times throughout the match?
At least.
Yeah, that I didn't care for. But the rest of the match was really good. I really enjoyed it. And thank the Lord. Merry Christmas, ATCW. You got your Cruiserweight Championship back.
Oh, yeah. It was glorious indeed.
Yes, it was.
Willie Radical opening up the match and had a very strong upper hand, and Hunter tried to cheat continuously, as Dennis had stated before. Thank the Lord for Brandon Walker being on point. Referee Brandon Walker coming through for us all night long, catching every single time Hunter put his feet on the ropes. Brandon Walker catching him and stopping the count. Phenomenal referee job there. Hats off to you, Brandon. Congratulations. You're the man. You're the freaking man. That's the kind of dignity that we like in our Cruiserweight Championship matches. Yeah. Moving from that, I think Hunter kind of went into this match thinking that Willie wasn't going to be much of a challenge, and quite frankly, he was out-wrestled and outsmarted, in my opinion, by Willie Radical.
Yeah, I loved it.
Absolutely.
I loved it.
Willie Radical showing why he is worthy of being a champion here in ATCW. Hashtag
two-time champion.
Hashtag worthy Willie, baby. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Moving on, folks, let's talk about the second match of the night. The king of the 304, that's right, 304 championship on the line. Axel Crow, the leader of the Carnival of Souls, going one-on-one with the big old rig, baby, Rex Savage. Dennis, your thoughts on this one?
Well, this one did not disappoint at all. I was expecting to see a lot of power from Rex Savage, and I was expecting to see him in control for most of the matchup, and that's exactly what I got. Yep. I don't have the words to express how impressive Rex Savage is.
Hmm.
I mean, he just gets in there. Every shot he throws is just incredible. And he's not the type that just throws fists. He uses all kinds of strikes. He does, he'll do chops. He'll do forearms. Man, he clubbed him over the back one time, and you called it like a tree trunk hitting your back.
Yep.
That was exactly how that should have been described. Rex Savage is just an absolute beast. And I'm still, even though he come up short here, just due to a slight error, I'm telling you guys, this dude is going to win a championship here in ATCW.
I can't wait to see that happen, to be honest with you. Starting off this matchup, Axel got a little bit playful with Rex Savage, kind of slipping underneath of him for the collar and elbow tie-up and then kicking him in the tuchus for a little bit of laughter. Unfortunately, however, for Axel, he was going to live to regret it. A vicious clothesline, much like we saw from Rex Savage, the King Otis, a couple months ago. Honestly, I thought that Axel lost his head. I thought he was decapitated. I was in shock and speechless until I saw that he was still attached. Good Lord, Dennis. We talked about still being able to hear the echo of that clothesline. I think Rex Savage created another one, so we're just going to hear all kinds of things next time we're in the ATCW arena. Unfortunately for Rex Savage, after a huge showing of dominance throughout the match, he had one small misstep. Axel saw an opening and moved out of the fourth corner that was about to be delivered a splash in, and Rex hit the turnbuckle, and the steel post there, costing him the matchup. Axel able to capitalize a little bit of a Sins of the Father, a little bit of Crow's Lullaby, and from the big top, the final act from our King of the 304 champion, and retains his championship. Dennis, you got anything else you want to say about this matchup?
I want to point out one thing, and I want you guys to remember this one thing because it's going to pop up later on. The King of the 304 championship is the only championship that did not change hands in 2023. And I think that is absolutely beyond impressive. We saw all the other titles change hands, some of them twice or more. But Axel Crow has reigned since March all the way through to the end of the year as the King of the 304, and I just find that incredible.
That was a very astute observation that I did not make myself, Dennis. Thank you for pointing that out for us.
Remember, that's going to come up later on, kids.
I'm definitely excited to see what's in the future for Axel Crow here in ATCW. Looks like he might not be quite finished with Rex Savage. We'll get to that a little later on in the Golden Ticket Rumble. But before that, we're going to talk about the third contest of the evening, the Shepherd Tomahawk in a freaking huge battle. The one that we've been waiting months for. It was months in the making against AK. And Dennis, what a rivalry, what a story this turned out to be.
Yeah, man. I mean, AK and Tomahawk finally going one-on-one. AK had been a follower of Tomahawk's for so long, and that dissolved, and they had the falling out and all that stuff that's well documented. This matchup felt like a big fight. As soon as Tomahawk stepped out, he was the first entrant. As soon as he stepped out, man, the atmosphere in Carneysville completely changed, and it felt like a big fight, and it was a big fight. It's always seems like the title matches are the big fights, right? And that's the one everybody always looks to. And this is an example of how a regular match can be and how big and exciting it can be. It doesn't always have to be for a championship for it to be big and epic. And that's exactly what we got with some big freaking epic showdown between these two.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you. A very physical contest from both of them. There was a lot of animosity pouring out throughout the entire matchup.
This was very personal.
It was indeed. Some very stiff clotheslines, stiff forearms, and some open hand palm strikes there from AK as well. In the end, AK showing that there may be a new message to be heard in ATCW.
Yeah, exactly. And, you got to wonder, this is a huge wave of momentum for AK going into 2024.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what we see in 2024 from AK. And speaking of excitement, Dennis, the heavyweight championship on the line in our fourth contest, representing the House of Cross, Travis Tarvin going one-on-one with the second-generation sensation, your ATCW heavyweight champion, Brian Hardy. Dennis, your thoughts on this one?
Classic heavyweight championship matchup. Couldn't agree more. Matchup. Yeah, Travis Tarvin and Brian Hardy are two guys rather that have a lot of experience, and they both brought a lot of that to the table. And you saw this kind of almost a mental chess match between two wily veterans going on there for a minute. I enjoyed this back and forth a lot, and I thought Brian Hardy made a great showing as champion here in his defense. And Travis Tarvin wrestled a little bit of a different style. He did break some rules, as he usually does, but there was a little bit of an overall different tone to this matchup, and we saw it kind of culminate at the end. After Brian Hardy got him to tap out in the sharpshooter, he offered a handshake. And, Travis Tarvin, instead of walking away, kind of, I don't really know how to describe it, but it was a gesture of respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just a tap on the shoulder, like, yeah, you got it, man, you got it. So a little bit of change of heart there that I thought was long overdue, because, Travis has had some good matches over the years, and whether he wants to admit it or not, he's had some good opponents. And it was nice to see him kind of acknowledge that for once.
Yep, these two huge stars threw it all on the line that night. And what better way to have an official for this match than the Hall of Famer Bob Starr calling this match right down the line for our heavyweight championship bout. Brian Hardy had kind of a fast start there in the beginning, but Travis Tarvin was able to flip it around and start using his power to his advantage, slowing the pace down, getting Brian Hardy off of his game. After a couple minutes of getting beat down, Hardy was tossed to the outside by Tarvin, which actually kind of turned out to be a bit of a mistake. He kind of left him out there so he could get his breath, because when Hardy came back in, he was a house of fire. A little bit of division there on that turnbuckle post, and goodness, it was on from there. Hardy locking in the sharpshooter for the win and getting the tap out of Travis Tarvin. Still, your ATCW heavyweight champion, Brian Hardy. And how sensational that is to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Hardy's still our champion, launching us into 2024. Can't wait to see who he's going to be facing next year, guys.
Yeah, man. Man, we're just looking up. Like, that's the only way to go for us with this. We've got Willie as cruiserweight champion. We've got Brian Hardy as heavyweight champion. We are rolling into 2024 with a huge gust of momentum, and I can't be more excited. Speaking of excitement, Dennis, you had mentioned earlier that we were going to have a bit of a special announcement coming up, and I think it's just about time for that. What do you think?
Well, Evan, you and I decided that we were going to do something a little bit special for the end of the year. So somewhere between Christmas and New Year's, we're going to drop a show for you guys, looking back at 2023, some of its best moments, some of its not so best moments. I think we're going to, I don't know if we call it handing out awards, or, because we're not giving out trophies, but we're going to talk about some of the best stuff. Like, I'm not sure all the categories yet. Maybe you guys could send us in some suggestions about what you think you'd like to hear was the best for 2023. I've been doing a lot of research on it, making a lot of notes, and I know you have too. So, we're doing our homework for this one, guys. Our year-end special. Stay tuned for that.
It's going to be super exciting. You'll see it here on the ATCW page in a couple weeks. I'll try to tease you a little bit along the way, like I do with my wife with the presents,
right,
so you can get the feeling too. It's going to be a blast. I'm super excited. Going to recognize some of the hardest working talent in the business that work for us here at ATCW, and we could not be happier to have them under our umbrella. Speaking of hard working, got to give a nod to good old Damien with his production of the matches from the last show and doing all of our videos as well. Thank you so much, Damien, for all your effort and your time that you put into this show and other shows and stuff that you do. So you're the man.
Yeah, man. I mean, without Damien fixing this stuff up, it's just us sitting here talking. It's just us watching wrestling matches. Damien does an incredible job at the editing and the sound design and everything. It's all to him, man. All I'm doing is sitting here talking. He makes it look cool. Thank you, Damien.
Absolutely. If there was a best editor and producer award, it would definitely go to Damien.
Yeah.
So after the awards announcement, it is now time to talk about the November Rumble, the Golden Ticket Rumble. You like that golden ticket? So kicking off the night, entrant number 1, the hardest hitter in ATCW, Tremor. And Dennis, wouldn't you know it, entrant number 2, Ishman Martinez. Dennis, your thoughts so far?
Fate has a funny way of working out sometimes, folks, and I actually think that Tremor and Ishkim have come to a point where, like, we don't want to fight each other anymore. We're done with that. Let's move on. However, you jump into a match where it's every man for himself, and you look across the ring, and the guy you have to fight is this guy that you thought you put stuff to bed with. Well, now you're in a situation where that guy's an opponent and a competitor and something you've got to get rid of in order to advance forward. So they might have been a little reluctant. I kind of doubt that, though. But a heck of a way to kick off the Rumble, though.
Hey, man, couldn't agree more. These two were going at it for a little bit. A couple competitors came down to the rings. The ring started getting a little crowded, and Dennis, we got some TCW guys in there, some ATCW guys throwing down, all for the opportunity to earn a title shot wherever, whenever. Surprising entrant at number 9, making his second appearance in the Golden Ticket Rumble, our boy Troy. Out of nowhere, did not see that coming. And Dennis, honestly, I was really surprised to see that when that flannel he was wearing came off, the freaking gun show that we got to witness. My God, Troy, way to go. He's been putting in work. Yeah, just like that.
Ooh, it don't look like mine. It looks a lot better than that. Yeah, Troy looked phenomenal, man. You know, he's training. He's getting ready to go and be a wrestler himself, and he's doing a really good job. I kind of like that he got to get in there and get a little bit of an experience with some of the veterans. Good job, Troy. I know you came up short, man, but you had a good showing, sir.
Absolutely. Getting some experience under that belt of yours never hurts, my man. So later on in the matchup, Hunter Cole came running in, and boy, he had a real permanent target in that matchup there, didn't he, Dennis?
Yeah, this was not about winning the golden ticket anymore. There was one thing on his mind. I want to get even with Really Radical. So, I mean, he didn't waste any time either, man.
Not at all.
He got under that rope in the ring and just low blowed him immediately, tossed him out. Yay, I got my win back. Yeah, good for you, Hunter Cole.
Yeah, unfortunately, Willie Radical coming up short there. Axel Crow at number 11. And good Lord, immediately eliminated. Rex Savage coming out. We mentioned it earlier. So Rex Savage came back out after being eliminated because he came in at number 3 and was thrown out shortly before. Yeah, it was kind of hard to see on the camera there until after the fact. But Rex coming out, so I guess we've got some unfinished business between these two.
Yeah, I think so.
Honestly, kind of excited about that because, like you said, Rex Savage definitely had the upper hand in that King of the 304 championship match for a good portion of it, and he definitely will be champion at some point here in ATCW.
At some point, he's going to win some.
There is no stopping that big old Rick. I'm telling you now. Let's see. Number 13, I believe it was, LA Star coming down, the winner of last year's Golden Ticket Rumble, a House of Fire as well coming in there.
Yeah.
Wow. Crowded ring a little bit.
I was hoping, man. I was hoping.
Yeah, he didn't quite make it there either, but a good showing out of LA Star. 2 eliminations for him in the Golden Ticket Rumble. And Dennis, would you like to tell everybody who entered at number 14?
So number 14 was our fellow production crew member, Dean Mosman. Kid I'm very proud of. He's doing a great job. He was doing hard camera this time. You know, he kind of turned it into his own Swiss Army knife, you know. He's filling in, did music last month, and, you know.
Yeah, he's doing interviews and announcing. Man, you're right.
He is also training to be a wrestler, and I hope he succeeds with that. He was given an opportunity to get in the Rumble here, so he was entered number 14. It kind of surprised us all, really, because I sure as hell wasn't expecting it. I was waiting for another Total Trump Wrestling guy to come out. But yeah, Dean got called up, and you know the kid was excited, and I kind of poked a little fun at him. But you know what? When you have your debut match, it's got to be exciting, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting. I'll never know, but it's got to be exciting. And you know he was celebrating and stuff, and took his tie off, got in there, and it was great. However, there was a problem with that in ATCW. This guy kind of irks him when non-combatants get into the Rumble matches, so you just couldn't help yourself, could you?
You know what? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We like a certain honor and dignity in our championship matches, and unfortunately for Jonathan Gross, last year, and my good buddy Dean this year, I had to toss you, buddy. I saw those punches you were throwing for Chris Klein. You were getting there. You were rocking him. But I feel like that big old bulldog was going to come back and bite you right in the butt. So I thought I'd just come in there and help you out. Sorry to throw you out. Sorry to kind of crush your hopes and dreams maybe a little bit there, because you you look like you won the Super Bowl or something when you heard your name called, bro. You were happy about it, but yeah, unfortunately, I had to toss him out, and then I turned around, Dennis, and I saw a ring full of dudes like L.A. Star and Tremor and Chris Klein, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna stick to my little rule of not having non-competitors in the ring, because we all know I'm not a competitor either.
So you had an official match.
I did, actually.
And you scored 2 official eliminations.
I
you
did.
Eliminated Dean, and then you eliminated yourself.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, it's a big accomplishment. Like I said early on in the match, it was my favorite match, and it still is. Still will be forever until the end of time. The Rumble there's just something special about it.
Yeah, you ain't gonna forget this anytime
soon. You can't explain it. So speaking of unforgettable, Dennis, at number 16, the hero kid, Jimmy Alpha. You had mentioned when he was coming down to the ring that had been about 15 months since he picked up a win here in ATCW.
Yes, and look at the numbers here, guys. So 15 months. Okay, this would have been month 16.
Mm-hmm.
And he entered at number 16.
Oh.
Remember that thing I said about fate and all that? Yeah, it works in mysterious ways sometimes. Yeah, Jimmy come in there, house of fire, and probably was the most motivated guy in this match due to this losing streak.
Agreed.
And he come in there, boy, he was stepping up to everybody. When J.J. Valentine from Total Chump Wrestling, that guy that was 14 and a half feet tall, when he got in there, Jimmy stepped right up to him and ended up eliminating him.
He did. I was
which was
so
incredible.
Surprised.
Absolutely incredible. But that wasn't quite the end yet. At this point, I noticed one thing that I did not say on commentary. We were at entrance 16, and we did not see a single member of the House of Cross yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And we still had a few more entrants to go, and the fight was just furious. And there was one guy from TCW that actually impressed me a little bit.
Really?
Yep, and I have to be unbiased about it, even though I'm not unbiased about it.
Well, let's hear it, Dennis.
Lucius Suede. Sorry you impressed me, and I would like to see you come back to ATCW and wrestle singles matches. None of that crap that your guys pull. I want you in there one-on-one with one of our best guys, and I want to see what you really got, sir.
Right on. I was also impressed with Lucius, man. It is a good call-out. Wow, yeah. He had the look, the ability, and the charisma coming down to the ring for sure. One of the brightest stars there in TCW.
Yeah,
definitely
and then
can't deny him.
Let's not forget this. Tremor started at number 1.
Oh, yes, that's right. He did.
Ended up in the final 4. And Evan, you clocked it. How long was he in there?
He was in there for about 41 minutes, or I think,
no.
I'm sorry, it was 35 and a half. I apologize.
Yeah, Chucky has 42.
That's right.
The record.
That's right.
You got a little twisted up there.
Yeah, sorry.
35 minutes. 35 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's an incredible marathon to run, man, especially through guys like, the big J.J. Valentine and all the guys that come out from ATCW side of things. I mean, and also, too, you got to figure that he started the match with Ish, and that was a very furious start to that match. But it was an impressive run for Tremor. Man, that's the most impressive thing I've seen you done. Excuse me. That was terrible. Most impressive thing I've seen you do, sir.
You stunned him, Trevor. Congrats. You absolutely stunned him. So, Dennis, you mentioned the final 4 there in the matchup. So that actually ended up being TCW's Robbie Wayne, TCW's Lucius Suede, ATCW's Tremor, and our victor and the holder of the golden ticket, the hero kid, Jimmy Alpha, pulling out the stops. Dennis, can you fill us in on the last moments of this matchup?
So, when it come down to the final 4, we both of us noticed immediately. We had 2 ATCW guys in there, and we had 2 Total Trump Wrestling guys in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a little scared. And I'll be honest, with those 4 guys left in the ring, I thought Lucius Suede was going to win. I did. I thought he was going to take it all. However, though, Tremor, he got eliminated, and it come down to just Jimmy and the 2 guys. And then I got double scared. And I was scared to the point where I was on my feet. Like, I left my seat when we got down to the final 4.
Oh, yeah, you can see it, actually, in the Rumble.
Yeah, you can see me standing up there screaming and stuff because I was also very excited. Man, and Jimmy just survived. He was able to get past Lucius Suede and then come down to him and Robbie Wayne. And they both went over the top and had this incredible duel on the apron. At one point, Jimmy swings around the wing post like he's freaking Spider-Man or something. And then comes off the top with a nice kick, and that dropped Robbie Wayne. And congratulations to Jimmy Alpha. Not only did you break your losing streak in the biggest way possible, you, sir, are the Golden Ticket Rumble winner for 2023. Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Man, if you're going to pull out a win, what a better way to do it there at the Golden Ticket Rumble. Unfortunately for Jimmy, his celebration ended rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The sore losers from TCW, Robbie Wayne and Lucius Suede, jumped in there and started attacking our hero kid, Jimmy Alpha, toward the end of the match and toward the end of the night. And then just one by one, more TCW guys started piling in the ring until there was about 6 or 7 of them in there. One by one, our ATCW family, our ATCW stars are coming down, fighting for their house, fighting for their ring, and unfortunately are getting stomped out. Tremor, Brian Hardy, Chris Klein all came out and got stomped. Here comes the Nation of Violence, Josh Austin and Rex Savage, hopefully to even the odds, because we know the Big Rig, impressive showing earlier on in the evening, can start swinging some haymakers when he wants to. Yeah. Dennis, the shock of the night for me, other than Jimmy Alpha winning the Rumble, Rex Savage and Josh Austin turned and joined TCW.
So that was the big shock for you, huh?
That I couldn't believe it. I thought that because the Nation of Violence made such a huge splash here in ATCW this year, and they were given the opportunities that they deserved, that they would be loyal and that they would be affiliated with us. Unfortunately, Dennis, that's not the case.
Yeah, it's not a thing anymore. What is loyalty anymore? I mean, we saw it with Hunter Cole. Now we're seeing it with the Nation of Violence. It sickens my stomach more than Christmas does, to be honest with you. It really does, man. I mean, there's just better ways to conduct yourself, I try to be professional at all times, even when I don't feel like being a professional, and I think that everybody that comes to ATCW should do the same. Is that too much to ask?
No, not really.
I didn't think so.
No, we like honor and dignity here. I'll say it before, I'll say it again. You'll hear me say it another 25,000 times.
I don't want to dwell on this one, Evan. Let's move on.
All right. Well, unfortunately,
screw the Nation of Violence.
The next person to come down to the ring was our awesome owner, Chucky Manson, and he started throwing chops like you'd never seen before. But unfortunately, the numbers that had reached just about 10, I think, at that point.
Yeah, it was immediate.
Dropped him and cracked him open with the grossest looking fork I've ever seen in my life. Just stabbed him with all 4 prongs of that thing, and he was just bleeding like a stuck pig. Jesse Daniels grabbing the golden ticket and cracking it over his skull.
Yeah, talk about an insult right
and
there.
I don't know if you noticed, actually, after the show, Jimmy Alpha's still looking for that golden ticket.
Well, I mean, I guess so, because it's in pieces all over the place.
It's gone.
He still officially holds it, but it's the actual physical thing got destroyed.
Yeah, so, I mean, more to see there.
Yeah.
Dennis, it looked like everything was done for. It looked like we were all cashed out and beaten in our home, and then it started to get a little worse. The House of Cross finally showed their face in the Rumble, or at least in the aftermath, and a big old return for Jonathan Cross after being banned for the later half of 2023.
But
I thought we were doomed there for a bit, but Go ahead, Dennis.
So I saw this. I saw that thing on Facebook. Somebody caught Chucky making a phone call, and they taped it and put it on Facebook. I didn't really think much of it. I mean, we're kind of in dire straits. Sure, call somebody. Shit, I thought he was calling Bob Starr. And, or one of his other friends. I never would have thought he was calling Jonathan Cross.
No, not in a million years would I expected that.
Yeah. So, I thought we were absolutely doomed. The House of Cross has been against ATCW from the get-go. So, yeah, I could see the doom in the air, man. Like, it was bad. But I don't even know how to describe it, Evan. It was just an amazing thing to see. It really was. Like, the House of Cross started fighting TCW.
Dennis, I can describe it with one word. It was a miracle.
Yeah.
It was a miracle. The House of Cross turned their backs on TCW after they had made a little bit of friendly fist bumping and everything after they made their entrance. And thank the Lord, we got some shenanigans that we actually enjoyed for once.
Yeah.
Standing strong with the ATCW family. That's right, that's you guys too. The ATCW family took out TCW and sent them packing with their tails between their legs back to Virginia. And what a showing of strength out of our locker room, Dennis. It was so admirable and so legendary. It will never be forgotten.
Dude, once the House of Cross started fighting TCW, it motivated the other guys. They all got back up and kept fighting.
It's like they got their second win. It was insane.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's like, remember in the Lord of the Rings, at the Battle of Pelennor Fields, when Gondor's been invaded, the House of Cross was the frickin' Rohirrim. They come charging in, save the day. Thank you guys so much, and thank you, Jonathan Cross.
Amen. I'm looking forward to seeing what that brings for the future of ATCW with us all strongly united for the first time in what seems like forever. Man. Well, Dennis, do you have anything else that you would like to say to our wonderful fans?
No, guys.
Our family.
Yeah, family. Yeah. No, not really, guys. Thank you for joining us this year for every event. Thank you for your support, and I hope you guys have happy holidays. We better wrap this up, Evan. Chucky's going to get mad because we went over our time.
He'll get over it. There's nobody putting out content like us, bud. Folks, from Dennis Williams and the golden tongue of ATCW, Evan Wade, we bid you farewell, but we will be back, like Dennis said, for our year-end special, I believe is what he called it. And after that, folks, the third Saturday in January, we'll be back in Carneysville live for some more ATCW action. Honorable dignity, baby. Woo! I'm so excited for another full freaking year. It's going to be amazing. I don't plan on missing a single show. And Dennis, I'm ready to start our first full year as commentary specialists in the booth.
Man. Yeah, man. First full year. Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be incredible. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Check out the YouTube page. Check out the Facebook page. Give this guy a like. Give this guy a like. Heck, give some of the wrestlers a like, too. Thank you guys so much. You are so appreciated, and we can't say any nicer things about you. We just love you. We love seeing you. We love your faces. We love your noise. Keep bringing it. And like Dennis said earlier, actually post your comments below on what categories you think we should use for our year-end special or some of your favorite moments from 2023. Until then, folks, signing off, Evan Wade and Dennis Williams. Good night, folks.
Night.